I need you just so I can breathe. Now I can breathe.
At its height in the 1960s, the civil rights movement drew children, teenagers, and young adults into a maelstrom of meetings, marches, violence, and in some cases, imprisonment. Why did so many young people decide to become activists for social justice? Today, on Iris Inspires, we interview and have a candid dialogue with three young advocates, leaders in the community. Listen. They're going to continue sharing their stand in IAM Possible and how they are going about advocating for the community and in the community, and how the Community Coalition, which is right here in Los Angeles, California, on Vermont, has been an aid in helping them to bring forth their voice and who and what they're destined to be. But before we do that, we are going to take a deep breath, because as we breathe, inhale and yes, exhale, it reminds us who we are. And that is our breath, that air that we breathe, that oxygen, that inhaling and exhaling is what makes us family. And if we can always remember that no matter what the differences are, our breath is what connects us and makes us family. Now, our blood might distinguish us, but breath calls us family. And so because of that, we, the human race, we not no junk. Come on, take another big, deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Now, we left off talking about, with these young ladies, their stand in the community and what kind of ushered them into standing in I Am Possible and taking on I am a photographer, and I am a youth counselor or counselor, and I am a politician in I Am Possible. These are the dreams and the destiny that these young ladies have declared for themselves. And what it reminded me of, it reminded me when I was their age, and I remember wanting to be a doctor. And I wanted to be a medical doctor because at the time I felt that, I don't know, there wasn't enough medical doctors, and I felt like I could make a difference in bringing children in the world. But as life has presented itself, I'm not a medical doctor, but I am what I call an inspirational healer. And what that simply means is I ignite that flame and that fire of who you are, and standing in that, and then declaring and living out whatever the destiny that God has for you and whom and what you say you are. I can remember the time as a young person that I felt very alone. I felt like many times that no one really understood. I thought I was kind of, weird. So if anybody else thought I was weird, I thought I was too, because I was so different, in my humble opinion, compared to the other young people. So I know what that feeling feels like. I also know what it feels like to have a passion to see change, to see transformation, and to use your voice for that, and to use your gifts and your talents for that, and to sometimes feel like it's still not really heard. And although people give you the hooray, hooray, you're doing a good job, you're awesome, you're incredible, this is beautiful, but still having that feeling sometime inside that it's not enough, or am I good enough, or is this the right thing? I know what that feels like. And so I wanted to give these young ladies and the young people a platform for them. My very first program, I had Dr. Ahmad Mansour on, and we talked about the educational system and how important it is that we in modern day, do not get stuck with an antiquated educational system that's not working for our young people today. And it's so important, you know, it was an industrialized educational system in a different economic world. And today, we don't really, if we stay stuck in that, it's not allowing our children the opportunity to grow forward or to fail forward or to experience and explore all the possibilities that yet not have been exposed and revealed in the natural world. So with all that said, what I would like us to do is to talk a little, while we were on break, Kaya was talking about an idea. I know she might feel like she's put on the spot, like, here we go. Now, but she had an idea about, I think you said about the good and the bad of taking pictures, because she wants to be a photographer. She has an eye for photography. So kind of expound and talk about your GoFundMe. What is that all about?
Well, the GoFundMe is closed now because I got the money and stuff. I just
Okay, she said the GoFund is closed because she got the money already. So what did you have the GoFund for?
I wanted to get my first camera.
Wow. That's awesome.
And my mom, I will always tell her like I wanted a camera and stuff, but she never really like looked into it or like talked to me about it. So I just went out of my way to get my GoFundMe set up and stuff because they actually told me about it. And so yeah, I set up the GoFundMe and I shared it with some people that I knew, and they got the money for me. And Dennis actually got me the money and stuff like that.
So you got your first camera. So her GoFundMe, she has that's called entrepreneurship. So that's what that's called. Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead.
And also with them, me raising money on the GoFundMe page, I was actually also selling donuts at my school to try and raise money again to get my camera. And so I'm going to be getting my camera Monday.
You're getting your camera Monday?
Yeah.
Look at that. Yay! That is awesome. So she took the entrepreneurial skills. She didn't just sit in. Young people, you guys hear that? She didn't just sit in. I don't have it. Mama them didn't buy it. Or there's no money here. But she got some creative skills together. And now she's going to get her first camera on Monday, which will be January 15th. Whenever, I'm not sure when you guys are going to see this, but January 15th, 2018 is when she is going to get her camera. And guess what day that we're celebrating on that day? We'll be celebrating the Martin Luther King and his belief in the world of dream and living it forward, right? Awesome. I think that's magnificent. Yes. What else, young lady? So what you going to do with that camera?
One thing I was planning on doing with my camera was I want to do a social experiment to show and express how people in my community are beautiful and that they can express themselves and that they're to show that they are beautiful.
Awesome. So she wants to, her first is to show that that in the community that they are beautiful, because we have so much ugliness that's always shown, and so she wants to show the side of beauty. I think that's wonderful. Miss Becky, what you have and in your journey of I Am Possible, what can you share with our audience in the process of standing to be an advocate of I Am Possible?
I'm not really sure.
Okay.
I don't know what the process really was.
Okay. So that's fine. So the process, when I say process, I'm talking about from the time or from the space of connecting with the Community Coalition and where you were at that time and the tools, the access that you were given to the I Am Possible campaign and deciding that you're going to be a counselor. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I first found CoCo, I was like, I didn't understand like all the commotion behind policies. I didn't like understand advocating. I thought like life was okay. I thought like, oh, it's getting better. Like even if we try, like there's nothing that we can change. But But when I got to CoCo, I saw that everything that has changed this far was because people were advocating.
Yes.
And it opened up my eyes, and it kind of like woke a part of me in a sense. Like, I saw things for what they really were. I started questioning things. I started looking for answers that weren't always given to me. And then when I got to IAM Possible, and I decided I wanted to be a counselor, that's when I started, like, I had connected with a side of myself of, like, healing, because we had gone to a sisterhood camp in Serena, was it?
Sahara, Nevada.
So, okay, in the Sierra Nevada. Yeah, okay.
And it was like this healing place for women and non-binary people.
Wow.
And like that brought me closer to like, I can heal, I can help others heal, and it was like, it's never too late to heal. So I think that kind of like pushed me more forward to be a counselor. So.
Awesome. You know, you said some really, it's possible to heal, and it's never too late to heal. Yes. You know, so whatever the space is in our heart, in our soul, in our spirit that is weighed down with oppression, fear, because that's where the oppression, we're afraid of something, being afraid of being found out that we don't believe like that, we don't think like that, my experience is not like that, and so because of that, you have a different stand, and I think that's awesome. Being able to heal. It's never too late to heal. It's never too early to heal. Wherever we are in our journey, healing is ours, right? So healing, what does healing look like for you today?
Well, for like the way I've learned how to heal recently is talking about it, not keeping it like inside. Because before I'd be like, oh, I don't want to be a burden. I don't think anyone's going to understand. But there are people out there who do understand. And talking about it, I think, is always the first step. Or accepting that you went through something. Understanding that it wasn't your fault. That you had no control over something that you went through can be the first step. And talking about it to others, seeking help and finding your own way to deal with traumatic experiences, I think is how you heal.
Honey, this young lady has said a mouthful. That's my mission. That's my mandate. That's what I do. What you have, putting a voice to what you have been through, and it doesn't mean it is your fault. And acknowledging it and forgiving. Forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for self, so that the healing can emerge. So be it abuse, be it sexual abuse, be it physical abuse, be it mental abuse, whatever the abuse that one has encountered as a young person, as an adult, there's healing for you, and that healing comes from putting a voice to it, not being afraid to say that this is what happened, right? This is how it made me feel, and this is why I am where I am today. But now I can make a choice in that to experience something different. That's powerful. Healing is not just laying hands on somebody and laying out on the floor. So we done got caught up in that and think that that's what healing is. And healing is bigger than, I'm not saying that can't happen. That's not what I'm saying. So please don't run and tell somebody that that's what Iris said. No, what I am saying after that, if we do not fill that cup with, I am possible, I am whole and complete, I deserve the best of the best, right? And I can live a life full and free. All right. Okay, I didn't talk to enough, Miss Brooklyn.
Is it the same question?
Yes.
Can you repeat it one more time, please?
Certainly I can. So in the process of when you connected with the community coalition and getting to the space of standing in I Am Possible and I Am a Politician, what got you there?
I think what got me there is, okay, so before I went to CoCo, I was at another school and I had like this interaction with this teacher, and so it was a white teacher, it was this white lady, and it was after the Baltimore riots, and so she made a comment that I was uncomfortable with. She was saying that, oh, like, they shouldn't have done that, and they shouldn't have been rioting, they should have been peaceful like Martin Luther King. Yeah, like Martin Luther King. So that upset me because it's like, it's not her, like, she shouldn't be talking about something she never experienced, and she never will experience her being a white woman. And so I think that's what that's what got me into wanting to advocate for myself. I just didn't know how, and then I got to CoCo, and they taught me how to advocate for myself, and they taught me not only to advocate for myself, but to advocate for others, and to, you know, be a voice for others. And so they really helped me realize that I want to, you know, be a politician. I want to make sure that I can be the one to change policies for the better of my community, and not against, like, you know, that policies are against them. Because if you look at the policies now, there are a lot of policies that are against the community, and there's a lot of policies that continue to, like, you know, keep the community down. And I want to be the one to be able to, like, okay, I know what my community needs, and this is what I'm going to do to help them.
Awesome. How you said a whole lot in that statement, because one of the things that we often forget, it was the young people and children, even in the civil rights movement, that helped push that forward. It was in the meetings that they discussed when they debated on whether to put the women and children and young people on the line because of the violence of the time that was going on. But it was that when they said, well, if the world sees this, they will see the atrocity in racism and institutional racism in the country that we so dearly love. So it's amazing that the void, that in hearing something, it stirred something in you that wanted to give you a voice to see transformation in the community. It's so important to recognize that when we talk about, I heard something before I got here today that kind of had my juices flowing, because I couldn't believe that the person would say something to that nature. Like, really? Like, you really believe that this is something that should be forgotten? Really? You know, when in fact, what has happened, we have an opportunity. We have the opportunities we have today because somebody advocated. Because of advocacy, because of making a stand, for standing in IAM, for believing in not just a dream, but believing that the dream is possible, right? That it's livable, that extends beyond ourselves. So I like to say that that's awesome. And even to know that policies, as we know it, does not have to remain, that you have the ability to transform that. And so, because the policies have to be implemented by us.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's awesome. So what are some of the policies that you would change, if you could, right now, this second? No, I want to hear them. No.
I think one of the policies that's closest to heart right now is that youth can be tried as adults. And so I hold that close to my heart right now, because my cousin, he went to prison when he was 17 years old, and he recently got murdered in prison. And so that I hold that policy close to my heart, because he should have never gotten tried as an adult when he was still a youth, and he was still a minor, and he was still underage. So that's one of the main things that I would want to change, because as youth, we're young, we make mistakes. And so he should, especially for the crime that he committed, it wasn't...
What was the crime?
It was theft. But it wasn't like something...
It wasn't armed robbery.
Yeah, or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So it's for the crime he committed, he shouldn't have gotten the sentence that he was given. And I feel like youth, we make mistakes, and we should be able to, given a place to grow so we can learn from our mistakes, instead of being, treated like animals and put in a jail where, nothing progressive is coming from that.
I think that's powerful. And I agree with you. Adults, I had a conversation with someone, and we were talking about that very issue, children being tried as adults. And it seems to be in our communities, whether we want to acknowledge it, admit it or not, that in communities of color have a tendency, communities of color we have a tendency to be tried on a platform that's much more stringent than other communities. And so I think that's to be commended, that is something. I'm doing everything I can to not cry, y'all. Let me just tell you, because I am so moved and inspired by these young ladies, for her to be able to articulate so clearly the importance of what's going on in our our penal system, our justice system, our injustice system, to our young people, and seeing that there is a need to give them an opportunity to blossom and grow. I work daily with the demographics of young people, middle-aged people, and older people that have lost hope, and they don't see hope. And the only thing they see is what is handed to them, which is peanuts. And it's and when I say that graciously in the aspect of when you continuously beat down and not build up. If you beat down and not build up, you inflict pain and continuously inflict pain, you're going to get pain actions returned. And so we have to do something. And so for those of us who call ourselves believers, we have to do something. I believe it was Martin Luther King who said, if my God doesn't give me the courage to put into action, I'm paraphrasing what he said now, so don't go back and say that ain't what he said. I'm paraphrasing it. But if it doesn't give me action, if it doesn't give me the courage to go beyond my knees, being on my knees, then I might need to question the God that I call myself serving. That's all I got to say about that part right there. We have to be willing to affect change. That's the bottom line. We have to be courageous like these young ladies and men, young men that are at the Community Coalition. I want you to know that, these are some powerful young ladies, but we have some young men too that are affecting transformation in our community. And I intend on this platform for them to come out here so that the community and the world at large can see the faces of men, young men, like these young ladies that are making change. What you think? And young people, yes, young people too. What else you want to share with the audience, Miss Becky?
Just while she was saying that, a case came up to mind. Nicholas, he was a white youth.
Got it.
17. He got tried as a minor for killing his girlfriend's parents and attempted suicide. And if he survives, he's going to be tried as a minor. But I don't know how to.
I want you to look in that camera and repeat that.
If he survives his attempted suicide after killing his girlfriend's parents, he's going to be tried as a minor. But I forget her first name. But a sex traffic victim. Her last name is Brown. She's 17, and she got tried as an adult for killing her captor.
So they're making the distinction here. So what Brooklyn said was her cousin got tried as an adult for theft. And I believe the difference between theft and robbery, one is with the gun and one is without. So theft is without the gun. Is that correct?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I understand it correctly. But the bottom line is he was 17, he was a minor. He got tried as an adult and got sent to an adult prison and now is dead. Becky just said that there is a white young man that got tried as a minor for murder. And when he becomes older, he will still be tried as a minor.
No, he's in critical condition.
Critical condition. If
he survives, he'll be tried as a
he's in critical condition. If he survives, he'll be tried as a minor. And then there was a young lady who killed her perpetrator. Cynthia Brown. There it is. Cynthia Brown. And if it will be.
She got tried as an adult. She got sentenced to life.
Got sentenced to life for defending herself. So there's something wrong with this picture. And so in all of our doing, what these young ladies are saying, that we have to have more. They need our adults. They need our support. They need our encouragement. They need to know that we got their back. Okay, that the voice and what they're shedding light on, they just shed a light on. This is not coming from the politicians, sweethearts. This is not coming from the people that are, adults. This is coming from young people that know what's going on in the community. I think it's powerful. Listen, we're at the end of the show, and we're just getting started. But I want to say thank you again for sharing from your heart. Thank you again for sharing with the audience all around the world. And I pray that this has inspired you, wherever you are, to know that you have a voice. Kaya, Becky, and Brooklyn are living proof that no matter where you come from, what you have had to face, that if you stand in courage and stand in I am possible and reach out You can reach out to me, to the Iris Inspires Network, and we will do whatever we can to connect you with the right resources. I want you guys to know also, we're going to connect you. I know you got photography, you have counseling, and you have politicians. We had a Young Leaders Dream, and we're going to connect. We're going to bring them back because we're going to connect them with some people that can help them as well in fulfilling those dreams. Okay? So thank you again for tuning in. Check us out at irisinspires.com. Check out the Community Coalition. I'll have all the information on the website so that you can, if you have services that you can render and give to the Community Coalition to continue to help and assist these young people, I want you to make sure that you do that. Please reach out to us at 702-373-3131. We're on Facebook at Iris Inspires, Instagram at Iris Inspires, and of course you can check us out at irisinspires.com. God bless you, and remember, the very breath of God makes us family. Until next time. Thank you.
OCN, Word of God to the World.